want to get into another technicality, because that's an issue that was mentioned by both Ritu and Vedi, and this business of someone being an NRI, and we do have instances, specific instances of that in this list of 500 as well, because my understanding is that non-disclosure of an overseas asset for an NRI is not required. Only the income earned by them in India has to be filed with the regulators, and if they've done that, then they are in compliance with the letter of the law. Is my understanding accurate, Dinesh Kanabar and Rohan Shah?
But again, I really can't understand this question actually. I'm sorry to say this, Shirin. The law says that if a person is not a resident of India, he's a non-resident, then his Indian income is liable to tax. Where is a question of letter and spirit? So actually, if he offered his global income, the tax office would laugh and return him the money because it's not liable to be taxed in this country. He has to pay taxes in India on income which accrues or arises to him in India or is received in India. That is what is liable to tax in the Income Tax Act. There is, I really am struggling to find what that he is, if you say is just compared with the letter of the law, because that's exactly what the law requires. So let's assume that a person is working in the UK, he is employed there, he is a non-resident Indian, he pays tax on his Indian income, not on his UK salary.
Sure. Okay.
May I only make one point? Sensational as this is, and it may be very deep-rooted and clearly very, very important, but this is not the basis or an opportunity to rewrite the law. Like you said, in terms of the NRI, the law is effectively clear, and if people have followed the law, this is not an opportunity to rewrite it just because something is sensational.
Is that a fear now? Is that a fear, Rohan Shah and Dinesh Kanabar, that this is going to lead perhaps to a knee-jerk reaction as far as regulation itself is concerned? And that's being debated globally. Of course, there's the BEPS regulation, the OECD, the G20 are all moving towards more better compliance, trying to crack down on evasion and avoidance. But do you fear that in India, the response specific to what we've seen today being unraveled is going to lead to perhaps knee-jerk reactions from a regulatory point of view? Rohan?
So if I could answer that, Shirin, the fact of the matter is that the government came... Sorry. So the fact of the matter is, a year back, the government came out with a scheme. Under that scheme, they provided that if any person has got black money which is lying in an overseas jurisdiction, on that you can file a declaration, pay a 60% tax, 30 plus 30, and be kosher about it. The unfortunate part about it is that the government gathered just between 2,400 and 3,700 crores of taxes under the scheme, which is absolutely absurd. So here was a scheme which was meant to really be a one-time clearance. People did not avail of it. The Act, the Black Money Act specifically provides that after the ending of the window under the scheme, if any money is found, then, or any asset is found, then you are liable to a prosecution, which is a minimum of 3 years and a maximum of 7 years. So you really do not need to rewrite the framework. It exists by and large, and those who really fall in the category of people who have illegally stashed away monies overseas actually fall under that act and are liable to be prosecuted under that act.
Rohan Shah, what do you see as being the immediate...
sense is,
go ahead.
While this is around and it is extremely sensational, there will be scrutiny, and people will sort of look at new structures, and there will be deeper investigations. I don't think that the government will have a knee-jerk reaction to sort of say that that which is legal will now be rendered illegal, either prospectively, retrospectively. But it is likely that as they look at this, in some instances they will find innovative structures which just don't pass the test either of the law or a smell test.
Right.
And from that perspective, you will respond to that. As frequently happens, a lot of what we are seeing worldwide is a response to practices which have emerged, which are either borderline or downright illegal.
Sure.
And I think government will act on what is illegal, but I dare say that they'd be wrong in acting on what is legal, and I wouldn't expect them to.
All right, Vedi, I'm going to give you the final word now. Today was just the first in what I understand is going to be a series of reports that you're going to be putting out. What more can we expect now from you?
I think that, this is what we have done so far is, where we have been able to, physically verify addresses, get back to people, get responses from them, wait for them for a week to respond, and then, put out reports. This is to my mind, is a very long investigation. It will continue over the next 4 or 5 days. Definitely, we have responses have started coming in up to today. Also, people are feeling the urgency to respond. So there'll be lots of reports that are happening. But quickly, I wanted to talk about this. On the illegality aspect, the letter of the law and spirit of the law, I agree to what Rohan and Mr. Kanabar says, but frankly, acquiring a company by a factory-like machine which just throws out companies every minute, every second, and then you say that I acquired shares in the company, I don't think it is any different from setting up a corporation. One can labor over it forever, whether it is acquisition of a company or whether it is setting up of a company. But there are prices for which this company is available. Shireen, like for instance, a 1-year company is available for $100, a 10-year company is available for $100,000. So vintage also, because vintage shows that you have been in existence for such a long time, and you show all of that, right? So.
No, there's plenty more to debate and discuss here, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we are going to continue to track this story as it continues to develop. But Vaidi, Mr. Shah and Dinesh Kanabar, Ritu Serene, appreciate you joining us here on this CNBC TV 18 special, and we'll check in with you as more developments take place in this story. But for now, from all of us here, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.